You got the Pokemon Professor here, and today I'm bringing you my draft analysis for Season 2 of the KCDL, the King's Crown Draft League. This is an Uber's Draft League hosted by the homie, JarlTheKing, King Charles if you will. This is a cash prize tournament for 300 smackaroons. It's 300 Canadian, and then in parentheses it says 200 plus USD. So I don't know my petrodollar exchange rate type stuff right now, but hopefully we make some money, right? I take myself out for a steak. God, that sounds lovely. But anyway, this is an Uber's Draft League hosted by the homie Charles. We were thankful to play in Season 1, and despite being statistically the worst team of that league, he invited us back for Season 2, so big shout outs to him. This is a 24-team league. Now there are two divisions. You have the White Run and the Windhelm, both of which very majestic names. One's a horse, one's a bear. So pretty cool too, if you ask me, just from aesthetic purposes. A lot of cool people that we've played in the past. We got the homie Pup, Honky, Dashing I've played before, Novax, Gentleman, Jarl obviously, Davion, and just some other fun people that we have played and that we haven't, right? Always fun to play new people. So very excited to be a part of this thing. Again, shout outs to the homie. And go check them out down in the description below. So going into this Uber's Draft League, there are still some stuff that's going to be banned, right? All your extremely broken stuff. Your Zacian Crown mode, I guess, the one with the sword in its mouth is going to be banned. We have some of the box art legendaries. We have the Calyrex Ice Rider banned. Primordial Sea Guy, Kyogre, sorry, Kyogre is banned, and just some other real basic ones, right? But we do allow for a lot of crazy Ubers as well. Calyrex Ice Rider, Groudon, Lunala, Mewtwo, regular Zacian, Deoxys Attack, right? Magearna, Lunala, both Zamazintas, so a lot of fun. A regular Zacian, I don't know if I said that or not. A lot of fun going into this. And out of the 12 that are a part of my draft pool, the Windhelm division, I was pick number 9. So naturally all the fun stuff that I wanted, such as Mewtwo, Calyrex Ice Rider, Lunala even would have been pretty cool. Those were all taken, right? Those were all taken. So I ended up going with my first round pick in Giratina Origin. I went with this because there were other mons such as the Zacian, but it cost me 4 more points. And the way this is tiered, if I got a platinum with some of the crazier mons, I could only pick up another bronze Uber. And if I went with a gold, I could only pick up another bronze. So I could try to space it into 2 silvers or 1 gold, 1 platinum, 1 bronze, however it worked out. But really it just came into point management because it is an open Terra league. So with my Giratina Origin, I was trying to set the pace, right? It's a mon that I've never used, which is always important to do in draft, especially now that I'm getting fucking older and just turned 30. I gotta have fun. And I like it holding the Greasiest Orb and giving it the 1.2 times damage into very spammable types in both Ghost and Dragon, in my opinion. And then it's just bulky, right? It can switch into stuff. Good base defense, BDF, HP, decent speed, truth be told. It gave me Defog, it gives me T-Wave, Willow, Pain Split. It gives me physical, special. Just a really cool mon, right? Really cool mon. So with that, my next pick coming back around to me, I wanted to go ahead and secure my Terra Captain. Oh, I guess I should say Giratina Origin will be No Face from Spirited Away this season. In my second pick, I have the Underminer, Excadrill from Incredibles. It is my Terra Captain. Typed synergistically, I thought it worked really well with Giratina. Giratina having the Levitate, being a Ghost type, being able to take the CCs, being able to switch into an Earthquake, neither of which Excadrill want. Open Terra, I think, with crazy stuff such as the Mewtwo, Zacian, even Zamazinta, the Deoxyses, right? Just crazy speed tiers. I knew I wanted some form of decent speed control, and I feel like Sand is going to be really nice, right? So fingers crossed it works out. Fingers crossed the Underminer will undermine my opponents and hopefully be a solid pick this season. Third, I went with Alomomola Alpano. Hopefully you see the resemblance. Okay. I picked semi-offensive picks. Like, yes, Giratina Origin is bulky, but it can take hits, right? It's a bulkier mon in that aspect. And I wanted something like dedicated bulk because Excadrill doesn't want to switch into the fairy type attacks coming in towards Giratina Origin. I don't necessarily want to take a knockoff. I know I wouldn't get my Greasiest Orb knocked off, but I don't want to take a dark type attack with Excadrill. It's not known for its bulk, so I know I wanted something that was just very bulky, could come in, take a hit, and more importantly provide me the momentum that both Giratina and Excadrill can really capitalize off of. And Alomomola is just like flip turn, flip turn, flip turn. Rocky Helmet chip damage, flip turn, flip turn. And so I think that's really cool. I like it because with Giratina Origin, I can switch into the grass type attacks, being Dragon. I can switch into the electric type attacks, being Dragon. So I really liked how those things work together. I like the craziness that Alomomola can give me. Base 75 attack honestly isn't bad. I've seen more banded sets, right? Just being able to break sub can be really huge. AV with the Mirror Coat, right? You're going to be able to rely on those special type attacks to kind of get something off. Outside of that, I also have Wish and then Healing Wish. Both of which that Excadrill or Giratina Origin really appreciate. So, if I can play my cards right, I think that Ponyo could just be like a nuisance for my opponent's team. And so, fourth pick's coming around. I know I have one more Uber pick. Looking at some of the other teams, I honestly felt like I needed to pull the trigger here because if I didn't, I felt like I was going to be just with an abundance of points. Maybe a crazy thing to say, but it would have maybe increased 1 to 2 picks by 2 points, right? And then I wouldn't have gotten the just immediate return that I would have gotten with my Zamazenta Crown that I pick up next, right? Old Zamazenta Crown, gonna be known as John Wick this season because it's a dog. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, if not, you gotta watch John Wick. It's so good, so good. Except the last one. There's hardly any talking, and they got me for my money. I'll give it to them. But the first one earned my money. Okay, so Zamazenta Crown. Going into this pick, I know I wanted a fighting type. It's a type that I really like, and I feel like in an Uber's Draft League can really help you out, being able to apply pressure to some of the mons like the Calyrex, the Groudon, right? There are a lot of psychic types, but there was also the Terra Terrapago Stellar mon, the Kyurem Black, Qianpao, right? Kyurem White, things that don't necessarily want to take the fighting type attack. And truth be told, it was between Zamazenta Crown and Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr, I'm going to stand for it. It's just so good. It's so fun. Guts boosted Mach Punch and Drain Punch with knockoff recovery, facade. It's insane to switch into. You can even run AV Guts, and half the time you catch a status because somebody wants to T-Wave something, or somebody wants to burn or toxic something. So you get the double item disco right there. But unfortunately I talked myself out of it. Just like I said, point management. I felt like the immediate return with Zamazenta Crown is huge. Being able to just come in, get a +1 in my defense, and essentially just click body press. I mean, that thing's crazy. I also get a base 128 speed tier. Something that maybe I can't bring Sand, right? I know Excadrill is my Terra Captain, and in a perfect world, I'd bring it every time. But sometimes it's not a perfect world. Sometimes shit sucks, so I didn't want to be forced to bring it. And I knew Zamazenta Crown would again just be a great glue piece. It is steel fighting, so I don't really get the benefit of the steel type that Giratina would appreciate, but I do get the benefit of Giratina being able to switch into the EQs that Zamazenta Crown doesn't want to take, or the Earth Power or whatever. Outside of that, it still pressures fairy types physically, right? It can come in, click the Heavy Slam. And then I talked about Body Press. It also has just crazy coverage moves. You got all the fangs. You got Play Rough. You have Howl, as silly as that is to set up. Stone Edge, Trailblaze, Wild Charge. Just a lot of fun stuff. And I think that Zamazenta Crown is just, it's a box art legendary. You got to put some respect on its name. So don't let me down. And following that pick, I pick up spirits, right? Vodka, the Mesprit. Drinking vodka now. A little vodka crayon, get my night ended. Very excited to use this thing. This is my second Terra Captain of the season. I like momentum, right? With Alamomola, I think that this thing providing me another Healing Wish user, another U-turn user, rocks. It doesn't force Extra Drill into running rocks. Being able to be a good Scarfer. And then I like Levitate with Terra, because I can essentially eliminate one of my weaknesses right off the bat, whether that be Earth, well, I guess it'd have to be Earth, but whether that be with like a Terra Steel or a Terra Poison or a Terra Fire or something like that, something that just really doesn't want to take the Earth type attack. Levitate is just a cool little ability with that. I learned that with Terra Uxie in the PPO and X thing. It's a great AV mon. It can be physical or special with 105 attack, defense, special attack, and SPDF. Right? It's got setup in Calm Mind. It has the mystical power, psychic noise. It has just so many great things that allow for such disruption on the opponent's field. And if I play it right, I think that Vodka can just be a great mon to play with this season. So I'm very excited to snag that thing for Season 2 of the KCDL. After I pick up some vodka, I hit the liquor store. I gotta grab my man Muck Bob from Aliens versus Monsters, or Monsters versus Aliens. 3-point poison. I couldn't pass it up, right? Looking at it, I grabbed 2 expensive Ubers, like I went with the gold and the bronze. I picked a more expensive Terra Captain compared to other teams, and I just used my points to the fullest. And with that being said, you still have stuff you need, right? I need a ground type, so people can't just Regieleki me out of my game. I need a poison type. I know I've got Levitate, but maybe I'm not running boots on the mons that are grounded. And being able to get that's nice, absorb those toxic spikes, but also more importantly, lay toxic spikes. With my Giratina Origin, Grecius Orbed Hexes are gonna fucking hit, right? It's a great AV mon. I like the ability in Sticky Hold. I like Poison Touch. If I can't go for the Toxic, maybe I'm running the AV set this week. Overall, I just think it provides a lot of cool utility for my team. I think I've got multiple Levitate users and mons like that, so another ground weakness isn't the worst of things, especially with one of them, an Excadrill, being Terra type, so I can adjust that need be. It gives me Haze, it gives me another knockoff user, the Elemental Punches. Just a really cool mon overall. Can set up and curse, things like that. Acid Armor. So really excited to use Muck. I love Alola Muck, and I've never used regular base Muck, so fingers crossed homeboy pops off. Just in case he doesn't, right? I do pick up the Ogre and Shrek and Donkey on another whirlwind adventure. Oh, first Shrek's so good. I pick up base Ogerpon. It gives me a base 110 speed, right? Something I'm kind of lacking because I get a Giratina Origin at base 90, which outspeeds just Extra Drill outside of Sand. At 88, I've got Zamazenta Crown at 128, and this just kind of gave me that in between. Grass type is also really nice for my team because I do have the ground weakness, right? Mold Breaker's a thing. I know I have Excadrill, but other mons get it. So having something that can resist it is really nice. It gives me spikes, something that's going to be really huge because I do have spin. Not only do I have spin, but I have multiple knockoff users, and I think Hazard Control is just a little bit harder in this generation. I have a Ghost. Now, granted, let me stop you there, Seth. Let me stop you there, Professor. I get heavy duty boots are a thing. But with that being said, I have a spin blocker in Giratina. Ogerpon has Defiant, so if they want to go for Defog, right, I can get that +2 in my attack. Ivy Cudgels from a base 120 is just... Ivy Cudgel in itself is spammable as is. And if I get the free Swords Dance because they try to get rid of my spikes on an aggressive switch-in or something like that, set up a Trailblaze, and that could be GG's. So really like Ogerpon for a multitude of different things. The spikes, the U-turn, the knockoff, the Leech Seed, the Synthesis, the Spiky Shield. It does what it does really well. So really excited to try out Shrek. Like I said, Shrek and Donkey. Okay. But because I have Excadrill, I gotta get Sand. Really, the only Sand setter this generation is T-Tar. Like, I say this generation, but just in general, I feel that T-Tar is the better of the two, obviously. And Kaiju number 8 coming out here, just killing season 2, Kaiju number 8. Okay? Oh, it's so good. Even season 1, if you haven't seen Kaiju number 8, man, go check it out. It's a great mod. It's a great mod. It gives me setup in DD. It gives me the immediate Sand for Excadrill, so I'm not having to do something crazy like set up Sandstorm or whatever. Can be physical, can be special, can be disruptive with T-Wave. Knockoff is crazy. Dragon Tail, Rocks. T-Tar does it all. And I'm really excited to bring just some crazy T-Tar sets this season and just, fuck the game up. The fingers crossed. Fuck the game up with T-Tar. Come in with Excadrill. Break. Figure out who's Scarfed, who's not Scarfed. Bring in Zamazenta Crown and click Body Press. That's a gameplay, and you heard it here. But all jokes aside, I do like my team thus far. I have like 2-3 more points. And with my last pick, I snag Panic, right? Panic at the disco because I grabbed Masquerain. A Fever You Can't Sweat Out was my album. Bill God, and then we'll talk. Lying is the most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off. Ooh. The IV in the hospital bed. Okay. Check that whole album out, start to finish. Casamito, I guess is how it's pronounced. No idea. But it's a banger. All of it. Such a good album. And they wear the masks, so it made sense. But outside of just that making sense, the pick made sense for me. It gives me Intimidate. And something that's really appreciated in an Ubers League with stuff like the Zacian. Stuff like a Kieran Black, a Deoxys Attack, a GM-Pow. Now, I didn't snag this because it's an Intimidate user that can just survive any hit and just keep coming in like Incineroar and VGC, right? I picked it up because it has Intimidate, and then it also gave me Webs, something that I think could be massive for Zamazenta. So I really tried to get all the little hazards that I could just to be a big old nuisance. It gives me setup in QD. And Masquerain has a base 100 special attack. So at +1, I'm dropping Hurricanes. I'm dropping the Hydro Pumps, the Bug Buzzes, right? Things that hit super hard. And if you play it right, it's got decent enough coverage. It gives me U-turn and momentum. It gives me just like some annoying moves like Lunge to lower the opponent's attack. Maybe I'm focused as Sticky Web. I get them up. I lower my opponent's attack. I've got the priority in Aqua Jet. It gives me a flying type, which is nice again for my ground kind of weak team. It gives me Stun Spore. It gives me Whirlwind. Just a lot of fun stuff that it wasn't just limited. I didn't pick up, I don't want to say just Charger Bug because I don't think Charger Bug's that bag of a web setter. But whatever other crappy web setters that there are, right? It's not that. Damn it. It's Panic at the Disco. And it's a fun mod. I've never used it in draft. I've never used it, hell, I don't even think in game. But yeah, that's going to be it for your Season 2 Drunken Decidueye's team. I am the Pokemon Professor. And I don't know, something in classes in session, bitch. I'll see you later.